Welcome to yet another episode of the program Youth Can. My name is Peace Wande and I am your host. You all know that when we mentioned Youth Can, we are talking about strength, we are talking about boldness, we are talking about creativity, we are talking about productivity. All is embedded in the youth. On today's program, we shall be looking at a very important topic, the empowerment idea to impact on the youth. Why are we so particular about empowerment, skills, and the rest of them, especially this period? You know why? Because our children are on holidays. Join me as we take a tour on this particular topic. I'll go on a short break, and when I return, I'll be introducing my guests. Don't go nowhere.
Today I need you to embrace what comes hard. Today I need you to accept the challenge. Today I need you to fall in love with the process.
There will be plenty of opportunities to get discouraged, to lose your passion and think that it's not meant to be. But if you're going to reach your destiny, you have to have a made-up mind. If you give up after the first time or the 5th time or the 30th time, what that really means is you didn't want it bad enough. There should be something.
Welcome back from this short break, and I am so excited today because he has obliged me this opportunity to be here in the studio today. I have Mr. Akinyele Osha. You're welcome to Youth Can, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
Wow. Thank you so much. I know that coming to this place may not be easy, but you have to join the level that we are so that we can learn one or two things from you. You are welcome to the program once again, sir.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's go straight to what we have on our table this day. When we talk about ideas, youth empowerment ideas, which is the topic that we are looking at, what exactly is youth idea on empowerment? What exactly are we talking about, sir?
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll start by saying ideas rule the world.
Okay.
So everything we see today started with an idea. The difference between the rich and the poor sometimes is the ability to actualize the idea that has been born in them.
Okay.
Bill Gates had an idea. The same thing with Steve Jobs. The same thing even with the young tech guys we see in Nigeria today. They all started with an idea.
Yeah.
But most times, ideas for the youth are there.
Okay.
But it's usually shrouded and beclouded by the kinds of situations they find themselves in. Maybe economic hardships, maybe political instability, maybe they feel that there is nobody to help them, there is nobody that can help them achieve the idea they are looking at. So most times, for all of us, we need to understand that most of the people that inspire us today, they were young people when they had these ideas as well. And they didn't let the situations around them hinder them from actualizing that idea.
Okay.
Idea is a spark of light that comes from your inside.
Okay.
Yes, and this spark of light, what it does for you is you know that the whole world depends on you to achieve this particular idea. So as a young person, you would not allow the situations of the your surroundings, the society to kill that idea. Because if you kill that idea, you have killed a part of destiny.
Okay. When we started, I was like, okay, some people are born with a golden spoon and all of that.
Yeah.
Talking about these, the ideas you have with the situation surrounding you. So, what can you say about yourself? Are you actually what I'm thinking, or you have to pass through this process that's...
Okay, thank you for that. For me, I was actually raised by a single mom.
Wow.
And we were 4, and being the last born and the only boy.
You are the last born.
I'm the last born and the only boy. So there were times when, when you have ladies as your elder sisters, they always want to show you that they are older, but beyond that, they treated me with love. There's an adage my mother used to say that the best legacy and inheritance you can give any child is education. So from our childhood, my mother made us understand that no matter how many properties she has, the best thing you can inherit from her is a good education. Okay. So I think it started framing up my mind that beyond school, there is nothing I can inherit from my mom. So immediately I finished NYSC. Even before I finished NYSC, I started working out where I was going to work. For my university, I studied economics in the University of Lagos.
Okay.
So I had done some research in capital market. I was excited about the kinds of research I was doing in the capital market and the stock exchange. And there were some particular people that came to mind when I was doing my research in the Nigerian Stock Exchange Library. They were stockbrokers. Their name were IBTC stockbrokers. Okay. They came with excellence. There was a way they had their, and I was excited. And I told God in my mind, I said, I'd like to work with this kind of people. And I didn't know that, sometimes there's a way that, God hears our simple prayers. And 6 months before I finished NYSC, I started applying to different companies, and I served in a Boeing, so I have to take a night bus. They will just call me abruptly that come for interview. I'll take a night bus, get to Lagos. I won't even have time to study because the roads were very bad then. So it got to happen that before I finished NYSC, I got a job with IBTC. So I started as an investment banker. My father retired early, so there was no money to give me. I was actually the one giving him money till he died. But what I could say is that the best footing they gave me, my parents, was the education. that I had. And after that, I knew that I could even do better than them once I'm on my own. So we didn't inherit any property, we didn't inherit any money from them, but we inherited sound education. Yeah.
Okay. Sound education, that is to say he was not born into what I was actually thinking in my mind. And there's something you said that struck me while in school. You started looking up to some people, the way you wanted to be when you grew up.
Yes.
Today somehow is playing at least to, if not 70-50, is you are getting to somewhere. So what can you say to the youth out there, people that have this kind of mindset? The time you were is not the time we are in now. So what can you say to youth that have such ideas in their heart? And
yes, for the youth today, I think one of the things that is happening is that there's so much distractions. They're exposed to a lot of things at the same time. So it's harder for them now to focus than back then during our time. But focus is still the key. You have to be sure of what you want. You have to be able to identify who has what you want already.
Okay.
And what steps the person took to get to where they are now.
Okay.
If you can do that, then you start reading books around that. You start doing things around that. You start praying towards that. Those are the things that help you to, you have to fix your gaze on something.
Yeah.
So the youths of today, they have a lot of work to do during our time, because they are saddled with many distractions. There are people that are, they basically do all manner of things to get rich, and then the society praises them for that.
Okay.
So they must be able to focus and say, although my own path might be longer than the shortcuts that people take, I'm still going to focus on that path.
Okay. If you are watching us, I hope you are getting something from what we are discussing today, because the reason why we are going, talking about empowerment, skills, and the rest of them, especially this period that we are now, our children will be on holiday from the tertiary institution, secondary and primary school. So we need to engage them on what to do to become useful to themselves and also to the society. Thank you for staying tuned. All right, sir. So now, when you said ideas, we are talking now, and I believe that youth out there, they are seeing what we are saying, and some of them, they believe that this is the opportunity I've been looking for. But like you said, a lot of them are being distracted. When you talk, you talk into like, what is this person talking about? Is it really working when we want to empower the youth with an idea through maybe motivation, the way we are motivating them now, or it has to be cash-wise?
Okay, for that, there are many ways you can actually motivate and empower the youth. But you must first find out what is the end goal. What are you trying to achieve? And then how best can you achieve that? For the youths of today, you also need to understand that the way he worked with us back in the days might need a little fine-tuning right now, because a lot of things, like I said, excuse me, are taking their time and all that. So you need to do something in such a way that they are attracted to whatever it is you are selling to them. There are many things that are preoccupying their mind, and it's still giving them cash.
Okay.
So whatever you need to do now must be fine-tuned to the days we are in, the kinds of youth you are trying to develop.
Okay.
First and foremost, capacity building in terms of what? You should have mentorship programs. You should have talent hunt programs.
Okay.
You should have, thank God the government is doing things concerning Empower, where you actually train them, but you don't stop there. You also advance them with some seed capital.
Okay.
But you don't stop there. You teach them new skills, livelihood skills, vocational skills. But most of all, in this Nigeria, you need to teach them survival skills. These things should be taught even in the university. Because once they are in university, the thought process should be, I may not get a job even with a first-class degree or a second-class upper degree.
Okay.
Let it be at the back of their mind. However, you start teaching them and training them other skills that they can turn into economic benefits, into commercial gains. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So those are the capacity things, because if you give a young man money and his mind has not been developed to use that money is wasted already. So it's not always the best to always give cash. First, build your mind. That's why we are talking about ideas. Ideas, the mind is the birthplace for ideas. The mind. And whatever you teach a young man and he grows with, the mentality he has is what will help him. If you are telling a young guy who is growing up that, you can't be anything until you know people, then it's most likely that's the mindset he's going to have, even when he leaves university to the real world. But if you are telling him that, look, some people did it, they didn't have to get help from this one. Some people did it, all they needed to do is this. So teach them skills, teach them the business around the skills.
Okay.
You have a rich engineer, you have a poor engineer. What's the difference? One understands the business around the skills, while the other one just knows the skill. You understand?
Yeah.
So you need to start engaging them, teaching them those empowerment skills, talent hunt shows, pep talks. Have people who have made it in life come and just talk to them and let them ask all manner of questions that have been disturbing them that they've not been able to answer, So those are the kinds of empowerment programs we should be looking at to touch on the lives of these young people, building their minds with the right information, with the truth about themselves, letting them understand that they can do anything. You see, the thing that happened back then in the World War II was that Adolf Hitler, it's not as if America had, Germany had more sophisticated weapons than the US or Britain. But what he did was he filled the minds of Germans to make them believe that they were better than any other race. And so that's the mindset we should start bringing. Start bringing the possibilities in them out. Things that they didn't even see in themselves. And they'll start focusing on that. They'll start believing in that.
Okay, talking about things they did not even see in themselves. A lot of youth in Nigeria believe that, I want to digress a little, that if you don't travel out of the shore of this country, there is no way you can make it. And sometimes we see that when these people go, it becomes the other way around. And then we see people who start from the scratch, mentorship and the rest of them, and they are where they are today. And people look at them. I was privileged to be under one of your inspirational talk, but though I came a little bit late, I didn't get the topic very well. But I've come to understand that youth, like you said, they are distracted. So many things is distracting them in this time that we are now. But there are still some of them who are also focused, but the means is not there. They have this idea, the means is not there. What can you say to such youths?
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it's the Japa syndrome you're talking about, if I believe. Okay, so you see, for the young man or young person or lady, as the case may be, what has happened is that you would not really blame anybody that decides to try something else. Most of the people that traveled abroad was not because they didn't try doing whatever it is they're doing here.
Okay.
Some of them just felt it was harder. The harder they tried, the more,
It gets tougher.
You understand? So they probably thought that maybe going abroad would be the greener pasture they were praying for.
Okay.
For us, I, for example, that's why we started by saying you have to know what you want. The first time I traveled to the UK, I already knew I was not going to live abroad. I couldn't live abroad. First, I didn't want to be a second-class citizen. The second thing is that I feel that I could actually be of value to my country, and my country can be of value to me. Okay. That's the mindset I had. And so there was nothing I did that made me think, oh, don't worry, very soon you and your family will go there. Now, this is not to say people who are abroad are wrong. First and foremost, you have to know what works for you.
Okay.
And you have to know the environment that would help you actualize those things that work for you. If Nigeria cannot give you the infrastructure that you need to, or the environment, or the time, or the vocation that you need to actualize what works for you, please, say my yes, go.
Okay.
But if you have the mentality that Nigeria still is a land of dreams, is a land of possibilities, despite the many things that is happening to us, I'm sure that it's just a matter of time. Even those your friends that go abroad and are living there would applaud you for staying. You see, for Nigeria, it takes a young man a lot of bravery for them to stay here and do what he can do. And that's why most people say, if you make it here in Nigeria, you can make it anywhere in the world. The reason is because the world all over, especially in the first world countries, they are not accustomed to the kinds of hardships and challenges we are in. Okay. And through it all, we are still able to maneuver our way and make it. So that's why I said even your colleagues abroad will clap for you, with time. Everything starts with your mindset. Okay. That's what I believe.
Okay. All right. This program is open to sponsorship and adverts. If you want to be seeing this face continuously, you can also sponsor this program. All right, sir. Thank you so much for your, for your words, the way you made me, to see beyond, because I see that when they said this jackpot thing, I believe that with the money they have, they don't believe in our country. That is why a lot of them will just want to go, not forgetting that is actually what work for them, where they feel they can make impact. Just like you went there, I can't, I have to come back to my country, I'll add value. And then now talking about value to our country,
Yes.
there are some things that you will see, or some words from some of our youth. You'll be shocked, like, why should I add value? What has this country added to me? So youth that have such mindset, how can we encourage them, or what can we do to make them believe that actually it starts with them?
Okay. First, I think one of the things we need to work on ourselves, not just the youth now, but even everyone in Nigeria, is the entitlement mindset. Most times we feel entitled to receive, but nobody feels entitled to give. We always want, so that's why an entitlement comes from the coin word title. So we feel because I'm in Nigeria, the government must do this for me. Nigeria must do this for me. And so most times you don't flip the coin and say, because I'm in Nigeria, I must do this for Nigeria. So most times when you start with, let me give first, then regardless of whether Nigeria gives back, you are fulfilled. It's a sense of fulfillment when you give. So most times for the youth, let's not always go with the mindset of, what will the government do for me? What has Nigeria done for me? Because most times you realize that even the government need help. They're not just coming to tell you, they need help. And so the way you can help them is by adding value within your sphere of community, within your sphere of influence, around your society, whoever you can help, empower, give, teach, educate. That's the way you are adding value to your country. When you see your colleagues and you're telling them that drugs is not the way, alcohol is not the way, betting is not the way, gambling is not, there are better ways. You can use the tech guys, the guys in fintech, people who have made it through other means. They didn't need to do these things before they succeeded. So I think that's one of the ways you can give your 1 penny. Your 1 penny doesn't have to be cash.
Okay.
It could just be helping a young guy like you find his way back into success.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right. What is your advice for Nigerians and the youth out there? Especially this period that we have people around, everybody is on holidays and the rest of them, so that they'll be able to curtail these criminalities and the rest of them. So what is your advice for the youth?
I think my advice for the youth is what I used to advise myself. The first thing is you must find your purpose. You must always find, why am I in Nigeria? Why didn't I become, or why didn't God make me an American? So once you find your purpose, you are not competing. You are not under any pressure with anyone. You are just walking in line with your path and destiny. So rather, most people want to compare. This guy is richer than me. Why am I this one? No. Once you're able to find your purpose, that's the beginning of fulfillment, because you are doing things in line with your own path towards destiny. So what I would try to find, to advise our youth is, find your purpose and stay on that course. Don't let, peer pressure, society cower you into things that are not meant for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the program, Youth Can, and I hope when we call you again, you will still oblige us. This great privilege to have you on the show.
You can be sure of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And on this note, we've come to the end of the program, Youth Can. Stay with us next week, same station. Bye.